My dear ones, and welcome into the sanctuary on this beautiful day, the second Sunday of July, the month in which we're focused on creativity, freedom, and the truth. And so the idea behind that is that you and I get to choose, the choice is ours, with regard to allowing ourselves to become free expressions of life. And what we are expressing then is the truth. And the truth, as you know, sets us free. Free from all the burdensome things that we associate with on planet Earth and with human form. There goes the sneeze. Anyway, my dear ones, it's a wonderful thing for us to have this opportunity yet again, because as you can see, this takes us back to basics. Basics. Science of Mind and Spirit 101. There is a power for good in the universe greater than you are, greater than I am, and I get to use it. I get to use it, and the choice is how I choose to use it. That's always the question. How do I choose to use that power for good in the universe that is greater than I am? Because how I use it will create the circumstances and the situations in my life. So I best create from wisdom and grace. Now, in chapter 7 of the textbook, Dr. Ernest Holmes he says that all of nature awaits our recognition and our cooperation with its law, and with its purpose. And what is that? Its purpose is beauty, goodness, and truth. And the law awaits our recognition of that. And so in how to use it, that's how. You use it along the line of beauty, goodness, and truth. That's how we are meant to use it. That is how it is to be used, along the affirmative side of life. And when we abuse it by using it negatively, we experience all the evils in the world that we're experiencing, in our own lives and in the lives of all of living. And that is to use it in an abusive way, along the lines of negativity, because that's never what it was meant to be used for. And yet you have the freedom of choice, I have the freedom of choice with regard to how I'm going to use this law. This law is the creative energy that flows through all of life. That's what the law is. Now, the law in Scripture is called the Lord. So anywhere you hear the word Lord in Scripture, you can substitute the creative process of life or the law. Thus saith the law. How to use it. Now, Ernest Holmes says, also in chapter 7, on page 133, he says, the law has the power with your compliance and your proper usage to heal any condition, large or small. Any condition, large or small. To return that condition back into the nothingness from whence it came. Through the focus on beauty and goodness and truth. The best way to use the law. It is, he says, limitless. It cannot be limited. It is limitless. It knows no impossibility. It can do all things according to the thought that it receives. Good, bad, and indifferent. There's the kicker. The creative process, the law of life itself, will also produce in your life difficult circumstances if, according to my thought, I've gone negative. It only takes what it's given, and it molds itself around that, and it corresponds to it, and it produces that experience. That's how the creative process in your life, my life, and all life works. How to use it is the key. How to use it is always the key. And the law is not a respecter of ignorance. Besides, you and I know this now. Most of us in this room know this. We know how the law works. We've heard how the Lord works. We've read how the Lord works. We've listened to how the Lord works. How are we working it? That's always the question. Along what lines does your thought normally flow? Are you 51% in the negative or 51% in the affirmative most of the time? Because it depends then on what you're going to experience in your life according to either way. Now, you were created to be the celebration of life itself. You were created, I was created, to enter into the joy and delight of the Spirit. That's why we were created, for no other reason. And there's a way to go about achieving and accomplishing that according to beauty and goodness and the truth. Can you live in beauty? Can you live in goodness? Can you live in the truth? Can I? That's the question. It's the only question we need to answer. And hopefully come up with a good answer. And hopefully choose on the affirmative side of life. What is your thinking? What is your feeling? What is your mental atmosphere? What is your emotional atmosphere? Same old questions. And the responsibility of your life is squarely on your own shoulders, and there's no one to blame, and you know that. Because you get to choose what you're thinking. Nobody makes you think. You think whatever you're going to think, and God knows we all know that. You can talk to people until you're blue in the face, and they're going to think whatever they're going to think. Like it or lump it, that's how it is. I'm reminded of the story, and we're all like this. Without exception, some of us more so than others. So, small group of people in a small boat. They've been out a long time on the waters. So eventually, this was a story from long ago, because you'll know when you hear the name of a steamer. They see a steamer in the distance coming their way, and as soon as it gets near enough, they holler and they say, "Help, help, help! We're dying of thirst." Boy, are they surprised with the answer. The answer that comes back to them is, "Put your buckets down. Let your buckets go down and collect the water. You are now sailing on the great mouth of the Amazon. Water is drinkable, fresh water." That's how we all are, like the two fish, racing around in the ocean looking for the great ocean, until they eventually meet a very wise fish who says, "Oh, come on, kids, you're in it." Now that's how we are. The very water they were looking for under the boat, right beside them. And we're just the same. We are just the very same. Because we're always seeking God somewhere or another. And we always go outside of ourselves, usually anyway, most of us, to find this great experience of God, which cannot be found out there anywhere. The holiest of places won't do it for us. Might give us 5 minutes respite. That's it. After the 5 minutes and the glow wears off, we're looking again, off in our search. There we go. Must be here, must be there, can't be this. There has to be more. The only place to find God, you will ever find God, to know God, and to be your godly self, is to find that within yourself. Is it not written that you are indeed the temple of the Most High infinite being, housed within you? And not just a little bit of you, but in every aspect and part and particle of you. Your whole physical being is a temple that houses the divine. Running through your veins is the creative process of your life and all life. What running through your mind is the possibility of becoming connected to, recognizing, and one with the creative process of all of life. Not just yours, but all of life. How to use it. How to use it is always the challenge. Reminds me of the story of the two monks going on a journey, traveling together. One is the student and one is the teacher. Along the way, the student stops for a moment and he says, "Tell me, good teacher, how does one take dominion of one's life?" The same old huge question we all ask sometime or another. So the teacher doesn't say anything. He just takes the pack off his back and puts it down. And he doesn't say anything. And then the student gets it. Oh, the symbology of it. You lay down your burdens. You lay down your burdens. And that's how you take dominion of your life. Stop carrying your burdens around with you. Well, not quite satisfied yet, he then asks the question, "Well, good teacher, how do I overcome the burdens and the limitations of life?" And again, the teacher doesn't say anything, he smiles. Picks up the pack, puts it back on his back, takes a big stride, off he goes, whistling and as light as a feather. And then the student gets it. They're used to this with Zen Buddhism, getting these kind of messages. He realizes that the only way you can overcome your burdens and your limitations is while you're carrying them. But furthermore, he gets the how of how to do it. Living in joy, living in delight, living in gladness, living in praise, and living in gratitude. That's how you do it. Imagine that. It's all we have to do, is to stay living in joy. And we say, oh yeah, that's all very well and good as long as everything is going well. But when things are not going well, that's a big, big frog to swallow. Well, yes, it is, and yet that's the answer. Who knew? All of this time, it's taken me all of this time to realize this. And it's been written clearly all the time, everywhere, in all of the scriptures. Come into the house of the Lord, singing and dancing for joy. Sing a new song every day unto the law. Enter with gladness, Goodness me, how long is it going to take us to be able to do this now? It says nothing about asking and begging and pleading. Nothing. It says, be glad and rejoice, for the day of the law is here now. Be glad and rejoice. It's a new day. There's a new way. A new song to sing. A new dance to dance. A new way to shout it out. Loud and clear, I'm alive in the Spirit. And as long as I'm breathing, I'm alive in the Spirit. Now, it's so much easier to do this before any great challenge comes my way. Oh, be quiet, frog. It's okay, you can visit, but stay quiet. This happens so that he can bring me a bottle of water every day. Thank you. Adam's ale. It's such an amazing, simple thing to have revealed itself all throughout eternity, and yet how many of us, how few of us have cottoned onto it. The best way to take care of my life, take dominion of my life, to overcome all my challenges and difficulties is to stay in joy. Because that's my natural way of being. I'm the image and likeness of it. And it's my natural way of being. Sing a joyful song unto the Lord, unto the law. It's been so loud and clear for so long. So few of us have caught that. Can you imagine this world if all of us were going around joyously? Can you imagine this world if we were absolutely enthralled by the beauty of life and living and enamored by its goodness and astounded by its simple truth? Sing a song of joy unto the law. The simplicity of it is astounding. It's an amazing thing. So God help those of us who are crabby babbies and sourpusses. Life is not going to be much other than struggle and strife for us. God help all of us who are always complaining and moaning and groaning and belly aching. Life will always be hard. Because that's the song I'm singing, my dirges into the creative process of life itself, and it's responding with an opportunity to sing more dirges. Life is very, very simple. And the key to it is very, very simple. And that's aided and abetted by what Emmett Fox said for so long while he was on this plane, and still says through his writings. If you want to overcome anything, take your mind off your problem and put your mind on God. And to put your mind on God is to sing a new song of joy unto the law. That's what that means. Don't even think about it. Don't give it a moment's breath or energy. And if it's not being fed with energy, it must dissipate itself and disappear out of your life. If it's not in your mind, it's not in your life. It cannot be. It cannot be. Cannot exist. Take your mind off your problems and put your mind on God, the good, the beauteous, the truth. How many of us are doing it? At least 51% of the time, because that gets us over the top and gets us well on the way to whistling down that road a happy tune, regardless of what we're carrying, as though it was a feather. That's what's going to do it. So decisions have to be made, my dear ones, and they always have to be. They always have to be. I am one with the divine creative. I live and move in the divine creative. Whatever I'm thinking, whatever I'm feeling, the divine creative responds to me and corresponds to me and molds itself around what I'm thinking and feeling and gives it right back to me in the form of some kind of an experience or another. Now that could be an absolute wow of delight, or at least, at the very least, a terrific headache or stomach ache or something. Thought rules your world. How many times have we heard that? Thought rules your world. Thinking makes it so. But who rules your thought is the question. Them out there That out there, or you in here? Your great good self, flowing with the power for good in the universe greater that you are, and you're using it in joy. How do you enter into God's courts? Singing presence, that means dancing for joy, playing your tambourine. Those Sally Annies know a thing or two. They make a joyful sound unto the Lord, as do the Hare Krishna people too. How often do you sing through your day? When did you last dance through your day? When did you last feel really joyous going about your daily drudge, as it's called? Who knew that this was the best medicine you and I could be applying to ourselves? Now, what is running through your veins, vinegar or blood? Sometimes you meet a lot of people, and sometimes they're you, and vinegar is flowing through. So the choice, again, is very, very simple, and I'm taking my time with this. It's very, very simple. You either are in joy or you're in misery. And if you're in joy, your life is going to come together, and what needs to be mended will be mended. What needs to be fixed will be fixed. What needs to be healed will be healed. But if you're always anxious and worried and concerned, it doesn't matter what prayer you pray. It's not going to have the same effect than the wordless one of joy, the wordless one of an appreciation of beauty, and the wordless one of desiring to be the truth in expression. Remember, intention is everything. The power of imagination, the power of thinking, the power of intention, the power of the word. Your word is not your own, remember, when you speak it. It is the word of that which created you. It has great power. And especially when you say, I am. Whatever you say after I am is awesomely powerful. So be careful about what you say after I am. Because I am is your name. It's the name of the divine itself, and it's your name too. I am that I am. I am joy, that I am. I am beauty, that I am. I am goodness, that I am. I am truth, that I am. I am grace, that I am. I am whole, that I am. Sing that song. I am healthy, that I am. I am wealthy, that I am. I'm in loving relationship with all, that I am. I am creatively expressing glory every breath of my life, every day of my life, and that glory is a glorious gratitude, thanksgiving, and praise, the song of the beloved. That's what it is. And I'm going to leave you with the truth that could set you free if you accept it as the truth. It is an expression I've always ended every single radio program with until that radio program was no more because it was taken over by another group. And this is it. Now take it or leave it, believe it or not. It's up to you. But whether you do or not will make all the difference in your life and living. And it is this. I am a point of power through which the infinite in all its radiant magnificence shines through. That's what I am, and that I am, and so it is. And here's to you.